Years ago, I saw a documentary on Vietnam. And I saw this one particular portion where a veteran, kind of like the sergeant, the staff sergeant, the guy who really knew what was going on, went to the rookie, the FNG, as they used to call them, and he said, "What's all this stuff?" He had all of his issued equipment, and he took his helmet, got rid of his helmet. He goes, "What?" He said, "A helmet will destroy your peripheral vision. It will limit your movement. It doesn't really provide that much of a protection. It will actually be as an impediment. You don't want that." He went through all of his pouch. He says, "You don't need this. You don't need this." He says, "But this pouch you need, you want to keep that for papers and things, and keep this, throw away that. This is what you should, this is what you need. This is what you need. Now let's go." And it turned out he was correct. It was counterintuitive. You don't need a helmet. He says a lot of people, if you notice in a lot of photos in Vietnam, they didn't have helmets because it was this part. Okay. Now what's very interesting to note is that you're thinking that you're really paying attention to what's going on. You probably consider yourself to be maybe some of the more enlightened people. Every group I know thinks they are the most enlightened. Every group I see, no matter what it is. I watched something yesterday. It was from CNN. It was a little clip talking about Trump, and it was, I listened to them. And they considered themselves to be the most enlightened, that they really knew what was going on. Nobody else did. You can watch Fox, you can watch this, you can watch that. You can read this. There are some people who love to delve into it. I'm not going to mention it. There's a kind of a young man who does a wonderful piece, who dives so deep into things without providing any takeaway from it. The mere exposure of information without any takeaway. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. When I was in Israel, there was a hospital we went to. I think it was a Hadassah hospital. And there was this one doctor, and I recognized him. And he was highlighted in the New York Times Magazine. And he talked about this triage. When he would go, whenever there would be a bombing, a suicide bombing, they always worried about two things. First came the ambulance. But sometimes the ambulance themselves was filled with somebody who was himself a suicide bomber, packed with explosives. So they commandeered the ambulance. So the doctors couldn't rush up to the ambulance at first. They had somebody to run security at a hospital. So you had multi-level considerations. Multi-level triage. But this new problem they had was making sure that the actual ambulance had a person in there. Okay. Next, keep the family out. Family is screaming and yelling. It ruins the triage. Third, and this is the part I found interesting, and this is why he was not impressed, but I don't think anybody ever even read this piece. This was the New York Times years ago. He said, the worst X-ray you can possibly see is this. And it was imagine the silhouette of somebody. And inside it looks like this white. And it looked almost like an angel. If you just used your imagery, you could see an angel. They called it the angel of death. And what it was the body, the organs, the internal viscera were in fact almost macerated by virtue of this explosion, the concussion and percussion of this explosion. And he said, but here's the thing. He would go when they would bring people in, he would go to the emergency room, and the people yelling, he kind of, okay, that's all right. But the person who was the most calm, the person who said, that's okay, get others first, that's the one he had to work on right away because that's the one who had this angel of death. Fascinating. Everything he was doing was counterintuitive. Everything he did was counterintuitive. Everything. I get these high pollen alerts. I don't know what that means. In any event, I mean, I know what high pollen. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. Don't breathe. Don't go outside. Anyway, what am I telling you this? You're getting it all wrong. You're in the emergency room. You're hearing screaming and yelling. You're not attending to the issues, to the patients, to the problems. You're being lured into that ambulance with they call them suiciders. I'll never forget that. With a suicide bomber who understands your MO and pulls you in, distracts you, and actually is causing you to go and reveal this particular aspect of it, missing the point completely. One of the reasons why certain ammunition, certain ammo is used, sniper ammo versus others. Sometimes you want to use ammunition that is not necessarily frangible, that doesn't just explode, it might affect velocity, but you want something that does through and through, which causes the most damage, so that somebody will yell for their compatriots and their buddies, help me, I'm hit, so that they'll come in. Do you see what I'm talking about? The way the enemy works, what is going on, your mindset, you're on the battlefield. This is the information battlefield. You're getting all this stuff. You're distracted here. You're not paying attention. You don't know how the enemy works. You don't even know what you're looking for. You don't even know what's important. Like this one doctor who says, no, not the person screaming, this one. This is the one you got to watch. This is the person. Don't be lured by this. I watch just to get an idea. It's like when you watch news programs, cable is the worst. Cable news is like comparing a kindergarten playroom to an emergency room. They're kind of similar, but not really. In the first one, it's amusement. I mean, you have a room full of people devoted to certain things. You know what I mean? It's like that's as far as it goes. News is an amusement. They're not telling you how to triage anything. You don't know what's going on. They just throw things at you like the little child. They're just wiggling toys in front of you. But the emergency room is where I want to take you. I want to take you there. But you don't want to go there. It's not fun there. It's more fun here. It's more fun. It's easy. You don't have to really invest yourself. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Are you following? I'm going to take you one step further. Younger folks that I talk to sometimes, I've had this on 2 separate occasions. Both late 20s, early 30s. They are concerned with nuclear weaponry in the world. They think that's the worst thing. And I said, let me explain something to you. Again, I'm in the triage. I'm the veteran. I'm telling you what to worry about. That's only a bomb. That's only a bomb. It's terrible. It's awful. It results in the complete and total destruction of humanity. But it's only a bomb. Buildings can be replaced. Buildings can be fixed. People can be repopulated. Japan took 2 nuclear bombs, doing wonderfully well now. In some respects better than us. Vietnam is prosperous. Bombings, death, destruction, things come back. It's terrible, but that's not the issue. That's not what you got to worry about. That's not that person in the waiting room that you should be paying the most attention to. That's temporary. The person who's yelling and screaming, that's good. They still have their limbs, they can still feel, they're still with it, they're conscious. That's better than this one. This is the one you got to worry about. This is a sign of death. The number one fear, the number one, if you want to talk about cataclysmic, is AI. And nobody understands it. Nobody understands it. Nobody. When Niels Bohr tried to explain to folks what quantum mechanics was with the notion of trying to harnessing nuclear power, Enrico Fermi had to explain to people. People just didn't get it. They didn't grasp it. They didn't understand what that means until they showed it to you. Well, how about this? Boom. That was, thank God they had the boom, because we have these other things which are interesting. And that is that what AI and AGI present are far more scary. And good luck going to the kindergarten, to the playroom, and explaining this. You're going to be seeing an attempt. You're going to be seeing an attempt, and God bless him, for all of his... I mean, it's tough. He's like being... It's like taking Ornette Coleman or Charlie Parker and putting him in the worst high school marching band, because that's what Tucker is. He's in the worst... Fox News is the worst place to try anything even remotely intellectually fascinating or what. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck. Good luck. They just don't have it. They're not equipped. It's not their thing. It's like a high school marching band. Yeah, but you've got the best saxophonist. I know, but so Tucker, he's trying. So he has Elon Musk. Elon Musk is still, people listen to him, and he holds a tremendously important position, and he's telling you, he's trying to tell you something which you don't want to understand because of the subject matter, because of the elusive nature of what it is, because it's information. And how can information hurt you? Plus, it's kind of robots, and because our science technology is so horrible, and because we don't know really how to think about things, we have no critical thinking skills, it's a waste of time. Artificial intelligence is the scariest thing. Nuclear stuff doesn't bother me. That's what scares me. When AI, artificial intelligence, or AGI, artificial general intelligence, gets to the point where if ever it learns computer code, that's it. It's done. It's finished. If ever and it's already doing it. It's already learned human behavior psychology, we're doomed. New paragraph, sort of. There's somebody I know who is, I think, what you might want to call on the spectrum. And that's a term that we use, I think, far too much, but you'll understand what I'm saying. And he is the prototypical spectrum, very smart in this case, but never an emotion. No laughing. Never a sense of amusement. Very smart. Can analyze things interestingly, and get to my point. Just bear with me. And one of the things that he's very smart. And one thing was the other day, and I did this on my regular LionelMedia.com channel, where I can speak to adults with all due respect. This is not anywhere near what I want to talk about at all. So just want to let you know. This is for polite company. But I don't want to get it. And I'm not talking about using profanity. I'm just talking about the subject matter. Anyway. So they said the other day, they said, he's kind of rude. I said, what do you mean rude? Well, he's rude. Well, why is he rude? Well, he just kind of blurts things out. And that was bothering me. I said, I don't understand what you mean by, what do you mean he blurts things out? What does that mean? And why is that rude? Well, I said, well, does he lie? Oh, no, no lying. He doesn't lie. He doesn't know what you would call tact. He doesn't know lie. He doesn't know deception. He has no filter. They call it that sometimes. He doesn't understand what that means. So I did some research, and lo and behold, and I find this fascinating, one of the criteria of some individuals with autism is that they cannot lie. There's no deception. And that's considered think about this. Either you get it or you don't. A handicap is truth. And that handicap comes across as bluntness, tactlessness, rudeness, brusqueness. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't that get you? Doesn't that make you say, wow, that's incredible? Yes. Think about that. Now, there are people who are in the world. We're jumping back to the original question. See, that's another thing too. People have a very difficult time going from here to here to here. They have a very difficult time. I had a program director one time who said, you change the subject a lot. I said, no, I said, when you hear a song, it changes the subject, gives back. When you go to a movie, they have scenes. He just didn't get it. He loved this. All right? So I'm going to go back to what I was saying. There are people who are working in AI and AGI who don't understand the notion of consequence. I'm not saying they're on the spectrum, whatever that term means. Again, I think we're used too much. But they don't understand. They are under pressure, number one, to build machines fastest. Look at Ben Goertzel. Look at Ray Kurzweil. Look at these folks. Look at them. Do me a favor. Spend 5 seconds, not minutes, 5 seconds. Listen to them. Listen to the way they speak. Look what they're saying. Any questions? Any questions? This is a different sport. This is not the usual suspect. This is not the scientist type. This is not the Eric Weinstein or the Brian Greene or the, Brian Cox, who talks like this. Did you know that they're all chilly? Okay, thank you very much. That's a different story. They're into this wow, Sagan, Doug Heading. It's magic. That's their thing. These people are hardcore. They're into science for the sake of science with no ability to deceive. They have no ability, no consequence. They want to be the first to get this thing out. They have no idea what they're doing. They think it's all going to be good. They don't understand what happens when you empower human beings with this. They're the ones running the show. They're being helped by people like Zuckerberg. And Zuckerberg, I don't know what team he's on. In terms of the good guys, bad guys. I know what you're thinking. I'm not saying that. Here's the world. I'm going to give you a sticker. And you put a sticker on the countries that are our friends and the countries that are our enemies. Good luck. The answer, they're all enemies. Our country is our enemy. Government is our enemy. There's no good guys, bad guys. This Manichaean nonsense is over. You're going to have something. Oh, I heard this today. This was interesting. Fox tried this. They tried this. I remember Fox and the Dominion lawsuit, you don't understand. Nobody, even in the world of podcasting, even understands how important this Dominion case is. They have no idea. This is existential. Again, I'm in the emergency room, and I'm going to people, and I'm saying, you don't understand. This patient is terminal. This is nonsense. This guy's fine. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're looking at B-roll of riots in Chicago. Why are there riots? You don't understand it. You're just listening to who's yelling the loudest. You're missing the point. You don't understand it. You're like the candy striper. You're the volunteer. You're the person who's at the hospital, really isn't a doctor, but is kind of walking around. That's the news today. Don't want to get too heavy with you. But let me tell you about this AI. This is where they thought it was interesting. This got their attention. A woman received a deep fake or whatever, a voice of her daughter that they mimicked her daughter, claiming that they needed $1 million. And it was a fake. It was an AI chat GPT-esque type of thing. It was all fake. Okay, fine. That got their attention. That got their attention. That's not even close to it. But, okay, maybe it's a start. Maybe. Joe Rogan, who is the most important person in media today. Joe Rogan is the most important person around. Joe Rogan sometimes does stuff that is so monumentally, infinitesimally juvenescent and childish and crude, but it's almost like drawing the flies in. Stuff that you think kind of stinks, flies love. So he brings in everybody. Sometimes the flies, sometimes, but once they're there, he'll switch. And he'll talk to a particle physicist. He'll talk to somebody else about AI or AGI. He'll talk to Max Tegmark or whoever it is. Lex Friedman, the most important. If you can listen to this, Lex Friedman, who I think Lex Friedman died in 1990, maybe, and he didn't know it yet. He has no affect, no nothing. And it was very difficult for me to listen to it, but I've mastered that. But there's no emotive. Okay, but that's the way it is. What am I? I'm from the old school. I'm from the days of where we showed emotion and laughed, and we showed variability, fractal emotion. You can break down an emotion into so many component parts, but not today. Today is all flat and whatever, fine, whatever, I don't know. But Joe Rogan said, somebody faked my show. AI has to stop. If that's what got your attention, if the woman who received the fake call from her granddaughter got Fox's attention, or if that's what got you, good. That's not even the end of it. That doesn't even come close to explaining what happens. When AGI, when these machines, if that helps you, learn code and can compute and do things to go in and change things themselves, nobody will be able to stop them. Not the government, not the good guys, not the bad guys. Frankenstein's monster. Remember Frankenstein or Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the doctor, but the monster is a story. That's a different story. But the monster was really a good guy, which people miss. That was Sling Blade. Carl Childers is Frankenstein. But the idea of this always of making something that takes over. iRobot to an extent, 2001. This is here and now. Max Tegmark says, and others, we need to have a 6-month, I think maybe 6, good luck, a hiatus, a moratorium, where everybody meets together. Everybody. It's the Coachella, the Woodstock of the greatest minds in the world. And we get together, independent of government, and we say, now listen, Zuckerberg, Elon, Thiel, all the, and by the way, there are billionaires you've never heard of. There are hedge funders they're there too. And they're fueling this. And all these people want to do is they want to get first. They want to be the first. They want to be the best. And Zuckerberg is up against Gates, and Gates is against this, and ChatGPT 4. It is when it when it hits singularity, when that moment hits, think of the second Big Bang, and it's done. Let me go back a little bit. Religion's a wonderful thing, but it creates delusion. And one of the things it does is it creates the idea that human beings are this. It's kind of like, it's almost like American exceptionalism. The human beings are the most wonderful, beautiful people in the world. And then nothing is better than a human being. Our compassion, our cleverness. That the thing of being human cannot be replicated. No machine can possibly outdo it, because there's that heart. We have a heart and a soul, and you can't program that. And you're led to believe that. They want you to believe that. They really do. They want you to believe that. It's not true. If anything, what I've mentioned, your heart, your soul, compassion, these are considered negative aspects when you compare to an AI, AGI, super intelligent, something that just blows us away. And we will be destroyed, not by the bomb, but by that. It will see no need for us. It will see no need, and nobody's caring about this. Nobody's caring about this. Nobody. And let me stop for a second. Let me just read some of the commentary. I don't do this for the most part. Okay, this is why I don't read it. This is complete rubbish. So I don't read this anymore. What's being written now, with all due respect, is complete rubbish. It's almost like noise. It's white noise. No. That's why I don't read this. Missing the point. This is the most frightening thing in the world, and I can get the attention of supposedly the brightest and most skeptical conspiracy theorists in the world, and you don't even get this. You don't get this yet. No. This is why I don't have friends. This is why I don't go to meetings of people and groups. I don't know. I have to find it. Okay, this one's got it. This one's got it. There may be 3-4 people that I've heard, and there may be elsewhere, but this is just blather, nonsense. And yet, if you talk about Trump, Dylan Mulvaney, Bud Light, there are now this concerns people, that there are beer advertisers or companies that are trying to compete with this, that are more conservative. That's what gets people's attention. It's utter garbage. Who cares about it? I mean, it's beyond that. I asked in my tweet attempts, stop this. Please, let's move on. This is not, oh no. Hey, here's Kid Rock shooting. I was like, oh my God. They don't know what's going on. They're worried about that. And it bothers people. It really does. Oh my God, does it bother people? Did you see the UN? There are so many people. I wish, and there's no way to do this, but I wish I could do a filter. It's like, I'm going to give you the top people to listen to, and only listen to these people for a week. There are some people who get it so well, and they really understand it. There's a UN, different subject matter, but there's a UN report that came out. Nobody's talking about that. None. Nobody. Politically, our politics, I don't even know what to make out of that. It's so base right now. But there's no triage. Nobody's walking around saying, no, this is the biggest story right now. They have no idea. Because sometimes the subject matter doesn't even. Because people don't like where it's going, so they will not listen to you. There are people, the mark of an adult, of somebody with, I think, a good head on their shoulders is somebody who said, I will listen to things that are not necessarily beneficial to me. I will listen to things that I may not want to hear or like. It's give you an example. It has nothing to do with anything. I know there are absolutely some truths regarding a diet that are absolutely true. But because people have absolutely no intention of ever depriving themselves of the taste of whatever it is, and they will change the reality around it. They will they'll say, no, that's not true because, you see, mankind was made to, and then they'll create some fiction about how man is either a carnivore or sweet substances are good because it's a reward center, which actually goes back to heighten the limbic system, which makes us more able to fight or flight in its energy, and it goes back, and they just make stuff up. They just make stuff up. So when you talk about this, they don't want to hear it because this is boring, this is dull. Listen to what I'm saying. The stuff that scares me, nuclear stuff, no, I mean, that happens. That happens. There were these things that, there was a while when, remember when we don't let you, we don't like people playing around with makeshift nuclear bomb technology. Remember when people tried to come up with cloning? We said, oh, no. Even China said, no. So we have these kind of internal things, not artificial intelligence. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's paying attention. It's unregulated. We have no idea what's going on. But you're talking about kids, people, riots in Chicago, Jim Jordan downtown, Dylan Mulvaney. I remember the year that Dylan Mulvaney, anyway, cried. It's incredible. That is the number one issue, bar none. Everything else doesn't even matter. Going into the room, the triage room, it does not even remotely matter. Do you understand what I'm saying? It does not matter. I'm telling you this. And there was no way for me to explain to you. There was no way for me to get it to you. And there was no way for me to direct you to it because it's just people don't see it. And it's object permanence. And the people, as I said before, the people who are kind of flat are very good at this. And they don't understand fear or deception or lying. It's just brutal reality. I want to get this first. My shareholders want me. I'm going to be the first one to master AGI. And then whatever happens is fine. But I'm going to be the first. I got a big bonus. I'm hired by this one. Zuckerberg and Gates are saying nobody's going to pump the brakes on this one. Nobody. You understand this? We have got to hurry up. It's like the Manhattan Project. Hitler's going to get the bomb. We're going to get it first. We'll make it, and we'll worry about it later on. But we've got to do this. And nobody's discussing it. You're not going to hear anybody, with all due respect. Can you imagine Marjorie Taylor Greene or Matt Gaetz or AOC discussing this? No. The most important issue of our time. The existential issue of existential issues. Do you see them talking about it? No. Absolutely not. Not at all. And it's the thing that keeps me up, so to speak, as they say, to keeps me awake and disrupts my sleep. It's going to be, and once it starts, it's done. It's out. It takes over. And when AI learns code, learns psychology of humans, it's done. It's finished. It will learn code to undo your code. It will be flying past you. It will undo your code. It gets out. It's out. It knows how to. Elon Musk said, let's charge people to determine who's real. Okay, you think that's, seriously, you think deep fake is a problem? Or whatever? You're going to find out eventually. At first, you're going to like this. You're going to see an ad on TV. There's going to be a completely AI or AGI talk show host that you're going to love, that you're going to be able to program. And you'll love him. And he'll, not only will he, you can dial him up, dial him down. You can create whatever you want. And this person will be more, you're going to syndicate a non-person. And you'll say, this is great and this is cool. Okay, that's terrific. Let's start talking about let's talk about information. No weapons, no nothing, just information, just data, just what you know. Interconnectivity, commerce, information, data, lore, knowledge, history, recordation of history, the way things are, things that just seem to you like always, well, those are, history is pretty much, history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. That's what Tolstoy said. Weapons, yeah, maybe. Wait till you have a version of an AI virus that just kind of leaks out. And then you're going to say, hey, Gates, Zuckerberg, Elon, can you stop this? No. What do you mean no? No. It knows. It figured out how to pick its lock. It's out. Can't bring it back. And it's creating other things. You might have one that, I don't know, philanthropic, altruistic. It's a good version of this. But as there is a tendency of being, as people always mispronounce, mischievous versus mischievous, you're going to see this. So I don't know what to say. Supply chains. But maybe something good. Maybe somebody says, wait a minute, we just figured out pediatric glioma, whatever it is. Diabetes type 1, we just figured it out. This AI thing on its own figured it out. That's good. So there's going to be some good, obviously. How about if somebody says, hey, there's a missing kid. Just a minute. Brrr. It knows. It's almost like DNA. It follows you're going to see kids found, diseases cured, a lot of things. You're going to see pets. You're going to see, forget robotics, because it's not the robot that's important. It's the AI part of it. You're going to see a dog. You're going to see pets. You're going to see girlfriends. You're going to see children. You're going to see a substitute. It's going to eliminate you. It doesn't like you. And it's nothing personal. It's just a natural, almost a kind of a hardwired universal ambivalence. It's going to control you. You know when they talk about things being hacked? I love that. Let me just leave it at that. Because let me just say something. And I don't say this disrespectfully. You don't get it. And maybe that's good, because you're a good person. Let me tell you this much. My Patriot Supply, how about this? Act quickly to save $200 on a 3-month emergency food kit. Their lowest price in years. Preparewithlionel.com. Remember that? Preparewithlionel.com. You'd be surprised when I tell people this and they think, well, I don't know. And it's not so much that, gee, you're not buying it. No, that's not what I'm saying. But there's no sense of, you know what, you're on to something with that one. No, it's not even that. They'll talk themselves out of it. Look at this. You know what artificial intelligence is? With all due respect, and I love so many great stuff that's written, but sometimes you see the opposite of that. Well, I have a fishing pole. I'll never forget that somebody said, I have a fishing pole. I'm talking about supply chain breakdown. Somebody said, I have a fishing pole. And if there's one, there's 1,000 people who say, well, I've got a fishing pole too. What are you talking about? So that's my Patriot Supply, preparewithlionel.com. Number 2, something so simple. My Pillow. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Be honest. When you first heard that, you thought, My Pillow, huh? Huh. Yeah, you know what? I never gave pillows that much thought, but yeah, it's not just pillows. It's everything around pillows. Technology in terms of thermal controlled, temperature controlled pillows, I should say. Slippers, toppers, everything up to and including and attendant to this thing. There it is. It's the most incredible thing in the world. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Number 3, this is my favorite. Oh, do we love to talk? We love to talk health. Oh, have you heard the experts about health? Well, you know. Look, let's just hope we get through this alive. They say, I don't know if I want to live forever. I don't want to be a basket case. But I do know one thing is very, very simply that however you get vitamins and minerals, however you get them, ideally through food, but you're not doing that. Trust me on this. Z-Stack, there's the link below. There's in this section. It's very simple. Vitamin C, zinc, D3, which is perfect, of course. And, of course, quercetin, the flavonoids and the like. Oh. The most incredible thing in the world. Z-Stack. And finally, and this is the best one. This is the one that, to me, is so obvious. Electromagnetic pulses. EMPs. Oh, my God. Something goes off. It's nothing really big other than every electronic device that you know is pretty much zapped and, for all practical purposes, eliminated. An EMP shield is this great American-owned product. Just go to the link. Look at the link. EMP shield. All of them issued. All of them listed. It's brilliant. And that's that. But let me just tell you again, and let me say it again, and let me not belabor the point, if that makes any sense. Artificial intelligence, AI, AGI, and it running amok, unchecked, untethered, uncontrolled, once you push it, the momentum is off. There is no controlling it after. It controls itself. And if you see these people, watch Ben Gersel, watch Ray Kurzweil, look at these two, and listen to what they say. It's all beautiful how we can attach some type of an input so we can forever have our granddad there. They paint these wonderful pictures. You have the death of a child, no problem. You have the information, the data. There you go. Isn't that wonderful? Immortality, oh my God. We'll be able to solve problems. It's true, as I told you before. I'll give you the simplest one. I've got a friend of mine who's a radiologist, and I can do a program. I mean, if it's not done already, but I can see it, where, for example, every mammogram that's ever been taken is in this database. Machine learns. It goes through them at a picosecond, zooms in, compares your sample with this, and says cancer or non-cancer. Lives are saved. Who's got a problem with that? No one. I'm going to leave you with that. You think about this. But it doesn't matter. Because believe me when I'm telling you this. You don't understand it. I'm not even close to grasping it completely, and it terrifies me. And I never thought I'd ever say it. I'm always saying this to myself. Thank God I'm not going to be here. But then I'm going to see kids. Whenever I see a little kid, Mrs. L and I were out yesterday, and we're out getting our veggies, and we're driving around, and there's these wonderful little diners, and there's people Sunday after church, and these little kids are laughing. I'm thinking, oh my God. Dear God. What are we talking about? Dylan Mulvaney. This is the highest level of the conservative think tanks. This is what they're interested in. Crime. Well, that's interesting, but not understanding the triage, not understanding how this thing works, not understanding which is more important to attend to first. All right, my friends, don't forget, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. I want you to go right now and sign up for her. She has this most incredible YouTube channel, Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. Promise me you're going to do this. And also, if you like what I do, if you really want to hear the good stuff, where I don't waste any time, because I don't have to worry about anybody taking offense at what I say. And by the way, what I find to be problematic is not, I'm not a filthy, that's not why I care about this. It's the subject matter. I am under so many limitations right now. I'm not going to discuss the stuff I want to talk about. Not here. Oh, I've learned my lesson. Oh, yeah, no. If you can't see where that's going, well, I can help you. It's LionelMedia.com. And also, Lionel Legal. Check that YouTube channel out. It's very good. It's very interesting. Lionel Legal. All right, until tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, remember,